From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharika Tahir.
And I'm Thilina Udayaratna. For starters, we take a look at tonight's top stories.
A request to examine the Avantgarde case by a three-member High Court panel of judges without a jury. The UNP's backbench MPs say that the country needs a candidate who is able to develop its economy. The Government Medical Officers Forum says that it will not extend support to the strike scheduled to be conducted tomorrow. A constitutional draft bill to revise the Muslim Marriage and Divorce Act. The official term of the Parliamentary Special Committee on the Easter Sunday terror attack has been extended till the 30th of September.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. The Sri Lanka National Standards Awards ceremony to unveil the National Standardization Policy 2017-2018 was held at the Nelumpokana Theatre under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena today. The institutions that manufacture goods and provide services according to the national policy were appreciated on this occasion. The process helps to guarantee the quality of goods and services that bears an essential importance to international trade. It has also been reiterated on the need to make use of strategies and technical tendencies in the local and international marketing situations. Awards based on merit and special evaluations were also presented for the groups that have reached final stage in the ceremony. In addition, national-level awards were handed over to the victorious groups. Minister Sujiva Senasinghe has presented to the President the National Standardization Policy. The event has been organized by the Sri Lanka Standards Institute.
President Maithripala Sirisena has appointed the new organisers of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to the Hakmana and Kamburupitiya electorates. The presentation of appointments took place at the President's office this morning. Accordingly, Nipun Amarasekara was appointed as the new electorate organiser for Hakmana, and the new electorate organiser for Kamburupitiya is Susil Karunatilaka.
The Attorney General has requested the Chief Justice to name the judges to inquire under a three-member panel of High Court judges without a jury to examine the case filed against 13 defendants, including the chairman of the Avantgarde Maritime Services Company, Nissanka Senadipati. Coordinating Officer of the Attorney General and State Counsel, Anishara Jayaratna, said that the AG has forwarded the request to Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya today. She further said that cases are scheduled to be conducted under 7,573 charges against the 13 accused.
The newly appointed Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva assumed duties at the Army headquarters today. He was appointed by President Maithripala Sirisena as the 23rd Army Commander of the country. He commenced his duties after obtaining the blessings of all faiths during religious rites held at the Army headquarters. He was accorded a tribute by a gun salute and a Guard of Honour. He is the first Army Commander from the Gajaba Regiment. Meanwhile, former Army Commander Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayake, who was promoted to the position of General, took part in a ceremony organised for his retirement at the Army headquarters yesterday. He was also accorded a tribute by a gun salute and a Guard of Honour. Thereafter, in keeping with the tradition, the baton of the Army was handed over by the outgoing Army Commander Mahesh Senanayake to the newly appointed Commander Shavendra Silva.
Minister Rauf Hakim says that in comparison to the previous government, the present government has increased twofold infrastructure facilities and investments in the higher education sector. The minister further says that measures are underway to sign a memorandum of understanding between Sri Lanka and the Maldives to enhance opportunities in the higher education field. He was addressing a ceremony held in connection with the opening of the new academic centre of the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine in Colombo today. President Maithripala Sirisena has presided over the occasion. A sum of 2,500 million rupees was spent on the construction of the new building of the PGIM, which is affiliated to the Colombo University. It is comprised of a library with internet facilities, modern lecture halls, a computer laboratory and an auditorium. The President has declared open the building this morning.
For the past 4 years, we have in fact doubled our investment, particularly when it comes to infrastructure and capital investment for the higher education sector compared to the previous regime. It is also remarkable that we were able to increase 250 medical seats in our universities with 2 medical faculties added, Wayamba as well as Sabaragamuwa. We opened Sabaragamuwa a few months ago, and next week we'll be opening the Wayamba medical faculty. I must also congratulate the Faculty of Medicine, Colombo. Professor Jean Pereira has offered 10 seats to students from Maldives in the Colombo Medical Faculty. And I would be carrying that message with the Prime Minister to the Republic of Maldives next week. Together with that, we are also attempting to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Maldivian government to set up faculties of Peradeniya, Colombo and Moratuwa, and the Maldivian government is willing to give us an entire island to set up infrastructure. So these are all groundbreaking new strides that we are making.
We were not able to create opportunities as a country for the youth of this country. But the problem is not the commitment of the government. Consecutive government has shown their commitment. They have increased the annual intake gradually, but we were not able to bring the reforms necessary to the sector. We were too late to recognize the private education in this country. Still, we have not developed a proper system to run the private higher education institutions. The countries who are behind us are surpassing us, like Malaysia, like India, and their gross enrollment ratios are very high. They are exploiting our education market. Now, estimated about 5,000-6,000 students are going to get the higher education within Asia, in the region. But we were not being able to bring the student to our country. So therefore, the government has allowed us to, even to our universities, to take 4.5% student, foreign students. So the betterment of the country, betterment of our youth, and to meet the aspiration of our children and parents.
This indeed is a remarkable day, a milestone in the history of medicine in our country, and particularly the postgraduate training that was really started as a made in Sri Lanka, particularly made in University of Colombo way back 40 years ago. And in fact, when our medical education dates back to 150 years, it is quite creditable that we got off and got things on our own feet, as it were, about two-thirds of the way down the long history.
The Postgraduate Institute of Medicine is the sole institution that is responsible for training and certifying medical and dental specialists in this country. In the region and in countries with a similar level of wealth, Sri Lanka has very high health indices. Now, with the appearance of non-communicable diseases and different types of diseases that are associated with affluence, that is becoming rich with poor diets and lack of exercise and so on, we need to increase the health indices to cover those illnesses as well. And for that, we need to have highly trained specialists and middle-level doctors in order to educate and treat the public that are afflicted by these diseases. So the PGIM's job is to see that mainly the specialists, but also middle-level qualified doctors are produced adequately to man not only our Ministry of Health, but also our universities, armed forces, as well as the private sector.
Ratu Balakotuwa Dige and Ramya Sagaraya Dige, which are the latest creations in the book series Sunduru Sarisara, authored by veteran writer Saman Athauthahetty, were unveiled at the BMICH today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest. Saman Athauthahetty began sharing his travel experiences with his readers with the launch of the book Sunduru Sarisara, Hanamichiya Dige, which elaborates on the cultural splendors of Japan. Ratu Balakotuwadige speaks of the wholeness of a spiritual life and the peace with it brings. It has been authored on Indian traditions and has been presented to the reader in an attractive manner. Cultural tendencies of remote areas away from the main islands of Japan have been given prominence in Ramya Sagare Dige. Speaking at the event, Professor Sunil Aryaratna said, Saman Ataudahetti has succeeded in sharing with his readers the cultural experiences that came under his observation on his numerous tours in a simple but attractive writing pattern which is of literary flavour.
එකිනෙකට හාත්පසින්ම වෙනස් පරිසරයන්
A number of ministers, parliamentarians, intellectuals and artists were present at the book launch.
Minister Sajith Premadasa says no one who expects to be voted into power has so far proposed a work plan or voiced a statement on as to how they hope to provide solutions to the issues pertaining to the high costs of living faced by the citizens. He emphasizes he is in possession of the knowledge, the practical work plan and the ability to attain targets together with the required level of competency. Minister Premadasa expressed these views joining in the ceremony to vest with the public the Munamalagama Reawakened Village completed in the Sitavaka Suduwala area in Colombo. This is the 259th model village completed under the Samata Sevena Yali Pibidena Reawakened Villages program and comprises of 43 housing units. The cost involved has been 45.2 million rupees and the village consists of all required infrastructure facilities. Parallel to the ceremony, a number of social welfare programs were organized, which included the presenting of housing loans and financial assistance for low-income earning families, as well as a free spectacle donation clinic. Minister Sajith Premadasa said that they have clear and practical solutions. The minister added that they are able to introduce knowledge and policies to fulfill the objectives. He further said that they understand the sufferings of the people. The minister also said that they were appalled to witness the hardships experienced by the people. He also said that his nerve to identify the sufferings of the people is functioning very well. He added that their veins are being nurtured by the Premadasa blood. People of the country will decide in November of this year who would take over their future. At this juncture, everybody must realize who could feel the sorrow of the masses. He also said that what is in their heart is not to destroy the people but to make them live. He added that he wanted to say firmly he would take over the responsibility of providing remedies to the problems of 22 million people.
A special meeting of the ministers and parliamentarian representatives of the United National Party was held yesterday. It is reported at the meeting that views were exchanged on the presidential candidate as well. At the conclusion of the meeting, some of the participants expressed their views to the media in the following manner. Minister Kabir Hashim said that they will fix a date to form the alliance and to sign an agreement after consulting the party leaders. He added that they hope to introduce the presidential candidate on the same day. Minister Mangala Samaravira said that they will take a decision with the approval of all as a democratic party. He added that there is an extremely conducive environment for the formation of the alliance.
In the meantime, the Indian Coast Guard held a high-level meeting with the Sri Lanka Coast Guard at Coast Guard headquarters in New Delhi yesterday. Both the parties carried out discussions on a range of maritime security issues. According to a statement issued by the Indian Ministry of Defence, the meeting was held under the provisions of the MOUs signed between the two sides for the establishment of a collaborative relationship to combat transnational illegal activities at sea and develop regional cooperation. The Indian side was led by Director General Coast Guard K. Nadarajan, while the Sri Lankan delegation was headed by Rear Admiral Samantha Wimalatunga. During the meeting, both sides agreed to strengthen cooperation in addressing a spectrum of maritime issues concerning safety and security, the Indian Defence Ministry statement said. The apprehension of 2 fishing boats by Sri Lanka involved in drug trafficking based on the information exchange undertaken by Indian Coast Guard invoking the MOU was recognised as an important enabler for pursuing further collaborative response to emerging situations at sea. As per the statement, continued capacity building of Sri Lanka Coast Guard by Indian Coast Guard, training of Sri Lanka Coast Guard personnel and mutual cooperation in multilateral forums was discussed and agreed by both sides.
The Government Medical Officers Forum states that they will in no way support the two-day strike action the Government Medical Officers Association intends to launch with effect from tomorrow. The GMOF points out that the strike action is not pertaining to employees' rights but is driven by petty political motives. Secretary to the GMOF, Dr. Niroshana Premaratne, said that this strike is unreasonable and against the administrative procedures. The work stoppage also does not comply with the professional status of physicians. The Secretary also said that the previous Defence Secretary had changed the medical ordinance and paved the way to establish the KDU Medical College. However, at that time, no protest or strike was conducted as they were afraid of the administration. He added that, however, today there is freedom under the present government. He also said that they are engaged in a process to put the government into difficulty. He added that they, as the Medical Officers Forum, will not engage in a strike.
Construction work of the preliminary stage of the Malabar-Colombo Light Rail Network has commenced. Prior inspections are underway at high-altitude locations over which the proposed rail track will be constructed. The project involves an investment of $2.2 billion, out of which $1.85 billion is being granted on a concessionary basis by Japan International Cooperation Institute. Under this project, a rail track of 16 kilometers will be constructed connecting Malabar and Colombo Fort, on which this modern luxury light rail service will be operational. The rail track will be constructed on pillars over the present roadway network. There will be 16 train halts between the two destinations. Luxury light rail trains produced upon Japanese technology will be deployed on this route. 25 train sets will be deployed on the route. These will consist of 4 compartments each and can transport around 800 passengers per run. Once the project reaches completion, the time duration to travel from Colombo Fort to the IT Park in Malabar will be just 32 minutes. The Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development states, therefore, this is a fantastic move to minimize the vehicular traffic congestion experienced in the Colombo municipality.
Sri Lankan scientists have succeeded in discovering a new extrasolar planetary system for the first time in the country's history. This planetary system, which is close to the constellation Virgo, consists of 2 exoplanets orbiting an orange-colored K-type star. The 2 exoplanets bigger than the Earth have been designated as K2-310b and K2-310c. While the first exoplanet takes 13 days to orbit the K-type star, the second exoplanet orbits the star in 65 days. The new extrasolar planetary system is located about 1,133 light-years away from the Earth's solar system. Since the K3 type star has been determined to have a temperature of 4,684 Kelvin, the farthest exoplanet orbiting the star is believed to have an equilibrium temperature of 43 degrees centigrade. Therefore, the scientists have indicated on the higher possibility of having water and life on the exoplanets.
So because of that, we actually have a habitable zone that's much closer. This is actually quite an advantage when you're looking for transiting planets, because if you take Earth, for example, it takes 365 days to go around the Sun, which means you have to observe the star for many years if you are to find a planet that goes around 365 times. On the other hand, if you take smaller stars and you have planets that go around in only 3-4 days, maybe 6 days, 7 days, it's much easier to find planets like that using the transiting method than it is to find a planet that's going around in 300-400 day long periods.
Principal research scientist Saraj Gunasekara of the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies had initiated this research project using data obtained by the NASA Kepler-2 mission. Research scientist Mahesh Herath had developed the project until the discovery of the exoplanets under the guidance of Professor Chandana Jayaratne. The results of this research venture were published in the prestigious monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society, which led to the recognition of many leading global astro research institutes, including NASA. Launching of Sri Lanka's first ever astronomical venture was held at the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies in Moratuwa yesterday. Sri Lankan scientists have said that the research venture will be continued further with the support of the international agencies to determine the existence of life or water in the newly discovered exoplanets.
The Parliament has granted approval today to extend the official term of the Parliamentary Select Committee appointed to look into the Easter Sunday terror attack till the 30th of September. The relevant proposal has been presented by Leader of the House, Minister Lakshman Kiriyala. The official term of the Select Committee was scheduled to end on the 23rd of this month. The Parliament has also passed today 2 orders under the Medicines Regulatory Authority Act. Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne said that the price control on drugs for the first time has been conducted in Sri Lanka in 2016. There has been a request to increase the prices by 10% as a result of the appreciation of the dollar value. However, the minister added that they have increased the prices of medicine by only 5%. There have also been requests to increase prices by 23% when the dollar value went up in an appreciable level. However, they have decided to make increases only by 14%. The prices of certain medicines and medical devices have been reduced. The prices of drugs used to treat the cancer disease remain unchanged. The government has a net profit of 1,757 million rupees. Meanwhile, the Parliament approved several regulations introduced under the Intellectual Property Act on royalty payment mechanisms for rights holders of songs or other musical work and on empowering collective societies. The first screening of the film Paradisayaka Kandulu by veteran cinema and stage drama director Dharmasiri Bandaranaike took place at the Tarangani Cinema Hall of the National Film Corporation yesterday. President Maithripala Sirisena was the chief guest. The 2 documentary films produced based upon the political history of the country are Paradise Soya and Paradisayaka Kandulu. The script of Paradisayaka Kandulu has been authorized, or rather authored, by Gamini Viyangoda. The film runs on the events that occurred since the assassination of SWRD Bandaranaike, after which Sirimao Bandaranaike became the first woman Prime Minister, and thereafter the events that pursued until J.R. Jayawardena was elected to power and assumed the premiership. Strategic events such as the introduction of the executive presidency through the 1978 constitution, through which J.R. Jayawardena became the first executive president of the country, the 1971 insurrection and the torching of the Jaffna Library in 1981 have been focused on in this documentary film. The film ends with Black July. A number of dignitaries, including Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, were present at the screening.
The Cabinet has approved to prepare the necessary constitutional draft bill to amend the Muslim Marriages and Divorce Act. Parliamentarian M.H.A. Halim, commenting in this connection, said measures have been taken to amend the necessary laws to suit the needs of the present day. The Cabinet has also focused attention to revise the Act, taking into consideration on issues such as methodology to register the age of the Muslim community engaging in marriage and the declaration of willingness to engage in marriage. The joint proposal was presented to the Cabinet to provide instructions to the legal draftsman in charge of drafting legislation. Many criticisms were levelled in the recent past by the Muslim society regarding the Muslim marriage and divorce law. Parliamentarian M.H.A. Halim said that some controversy has risen in the recent past regarding the age of those who have agreed to engage in marriage. A request has been made to appoint female judges to look into any grievances. He said that they will make revisions to increase the age of marriage to 18 years and also to do away with the system of seeking only the preferences of parents regarding marriages. The laws will be amended to obtain the preferences of the brides as well.
පමණක් නෙවෙයි අද කාලේ ඔබින් නැහැ සමහර දේවල් නිසා අද කාලේට අවශ්‍ය පරිදි යම් සංශෝධන අපි ඇති කරා.
The Indian Parliament has identified last month that it was a crime to enforce the divorce law that enabled a husband to divorce a spouse by declaring 3 times the word talaq. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party presenting the bill said that their aim was to grant justice to women. Accordingly, any person who violates the law could be subject to a prison term up to 3 years.
Chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts, Lasantha Alagiyawanna, says that the COP was exposed to the people and the media today. He further says that a new channel is to be established to air the proceedings of the committee. He further said that they have taken this measure into consideration, the right of the people to know information. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya said that the 8th Parliament has commenced and they were able to make several changes in parliamentary laws. After 25 years, they were able to change standing orders of Parliament. They have received the support of all parties in this regard. He further said that the methods to be implemented from today would enable the people to gain understanding on financial consumption. He has also called upon to create a new political culture in the country. They have nothing to hide.
ඒ වගේ මාධ්‍ය ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටත් මේ අලුත් අත්දැකීමක් අපි එක්ක වෙලා මේ රටේ අලුත් සංස්කෘතියක් දේශපාලන සංස්කෘතියක් අපි ඇති කරමු. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට හංගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුළ. පාර්ලිමේන්තුව උත්තරීතර ස්ථානයේ ඒ සමේ උත්තර ස්ථානයෙන් ලංකාවට ලෝකයට ආදර්ශ දෙන්න හැකි වගේ මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
An evaluation of the accounts and performance of 837 state institutions in the year 2018 has taken place for the first time. The COPA chairman further said that a report in this regard will be presented during the year. COPA chairman Lasantha Alagiyawanna said that the main concern of the parliament is to formulate legislation. The parliament is responsible on the utilization of public funds in the correct manner. He also said that 225 members are being elected to the parliament to safeguard the rights of the people. Deputy Speaker Ananda Kumarasiri, Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Dasanayaka and Auditor General WPC Vikramaratne were among those present.
Well, the remains of Flight Officer H.K.C. Kumarasiri, who has rendered an indispensable service as an instructor of the Parachute Training School of the Army Special Task Force, is scheduled to be brought to his residence tonight. He died while jumping using a parachute of the Air Force from a height of 7,000 feet. The death has been caused due to a malfunctioning of the parachute. The deceased officer, 42-year-old Kumarasiri, is a resident of Kamburupitiya, Matara. He is a father of 2 children. His wife is in her 7th month of pregnancy. The body of Officer Kumarasiri will be kept at his residence in Ovitigamua North in Puhulwella, Kirinda.
The All Shares Price Index closed at 5,907.74 points, dropped by 4.72 points, and the S&P SL20 Index closed at 2,918.03 points, also increased by 3.45 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 671 million rupees, and here's a summary of market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today.
Well, that's all we've got for you this evening from the Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow. Until then, good night.